Okay, so now that we have our screen, let us create a section for the button. Since both the screen and the button is going to stay in the larger div, let's copy this one since they both going to use the same tags. We'll change this to keypads because that is where your buttons are going to sit, keypads. Okay. So keypads. I'll save it. All right. So right now my keypad does not have any form of design. Is someone asking question?
No.
Okay, so keypad doesn't have any design for now. So let's go to calc.the CSS file so that we can keypad. We have keypad here. The width is 230. Background color is this. Height is this. All right. So okay, it's a class because it's using dots. So let's change our keypad to dots to class. Let's use class for our keypad so we can. Is there anybody here that doesn't understand what we're doing?
No, sir.
No, sir. So you guys are on track. Okay, so let's move. So now what we need to do is go back and preview from our file explorer. Okay. Preview on our browser again. Share it for you guys to see. Okay, so refresh. All right, so this is the area where our keypads are going to be located. All right, so now we want to combine, instead of keypads here, let's begin to create buttons. Okay, let's create buttons. So what we're going to do is, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, so we are going to create buttons here. All right, we're going to create buttons here. We're going to fall in between this particular space. So let's go back. So now this is the area where all the buttons are going to sit. So that means we are going to have a lot of buttons to type in here. So let's bring this down to create space. We don't need these keypads, but we don't need type. So what we need is a button. We need button tag. Button tag will help us to create a button. Let's say we have our first button. It's going to be button number 1. Then let me just copy this, Control C, Control V, V, V. All right, let's see if we 4 buttons on a row. Let's see what it will give us. 2, 3. Okay, so let's save. Let's save. Let's go back again and check what is going to display on the screen. File Explorer. Share my screen. Okay. So you get that, right? Do you all understand it up to this point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so let's move on now. So we're gonna move the buttons from the top. We'll expand the sizes of this button as well. Okay. So let's give it the margin from the top because there needs to be a space between this and this. Okay. So let's go to where do we CSS? Thank you very much. I wanted to ask that question. So let's go to our CSS. I know everybody know what to do. You all know what to do.
Yes.
All right. Now, these buttons, we are going to give these buttons one unique ID. This ID is what we use to style all buttons automatically. So what that means is if we create the ID once, we style it once, if we call each of these ID that particular ID name, then it means the CSS styling will be applied to that button. Why? Because of the design pattern that we have given to that button ID. So we are going to name this button, give this button an ID called ARIT, BTN, capital BTN. What this stands for is arithmetic button 1. So this is arithmetic button, ARIT BTN, arithmetic button. All right. So we'll go to our CSS and style that particular button. Right symbol ARIT BTN. Right. So let's give our first button a width. Can you hope you can see my code?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes,
So
sir.
let's give
Yes,
it
sir.
let's give it a width of button. Do we have those button have enough? Have we forgotten? Let's give it 10 px and see the size of 10 px width. Save it. Let's go back to our browser. Check and see what it looks like. First button has an ID. Okay. Not applying. There must be a spelling error. So let's go back to our code and check. Hash symbol ARIBTN 10px HTML ARI. Okay, I've not saved it over here. You can see it's giving me this white symbol. So let me save it so that will take effect. These things are not difficult. If you sit down and you work on it, you see, learning to code, practicing your coding skills helps to build your mathematical skills. Your reasoning begins to mature. Use coding to grow in your academics. Coding gives you a leverage. What is leverage? Leverage is an added advantage to something. For example, if you have a pothole that is very, very deep and wide, you need a leverage. You can jump, but you need a leverage to jump very, very well. So you can get a plank and cross it between two ends that is at least wider than the portal so that you can step on the plank and jump. So the plank will stand as a leverage for you. All right. Even if it, yeah, so even if it's a space between two gaps, and you have to put your leg very, very close to the first gap so that you can jump and get to the end of the other side. That means you need a very close space. So that is a leverage. Coding gives you leverage. Once you are able to sit down and think and look at, okay, I didn't put this here. Okay, let me put this here. Let me do this like this. When you meet tough mathematical problems, you will use the same pattern of thinking to solve those mathematical problems. So I encourage you to code. I encourage you to code. Not because coding is what is trending, or you hate coding as well because coding is boring or there's nothing fun about it. The truth is, it builds your brain power, your thinking power increases, and you'll be able to solve more problems and even challenges in life. Even games, when you're playing games, the same thing applies. Okay, let's refresh now. All right, so our button becomes smaller. So that means we have to increase this button to about 30 px. Okay, so let's go back. CSS. $30 px. All right, so now we can save that. Go back to our browser and check again. All right, 30. Still feel like we should expand it a little bit more. So we use one design to apply to the others. Let's make it 15. Or before, okay, let's make it 50. But let's look at, remember our keypad is occupying a width of 230 px. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right, so 230 px. We want 4 buttons to be positioned in a particular box that has a space for only 4 items. How many, what sizes should each item carry? That's the question. We have a box that has a size of 230 px, or let's say 240. How many size will each of the object carry or contain? Somebody should think about it. We have 4 objects we want to put in a box that can only occupy a space of 240, 220. Each box that is
Sorry,
going, yeah, I can hear you. Okay, I guess your network is breaking. Yes, can somebody else give us an idea? What do we do? Yes?
So I think um you make it 55 px.
55 px. How did you come about 55 px?
So because the width is 230 px, because more fill the whole div.
Yeah,
So
okay. So
there will
how
be
did,
space at the top.
yeah, so, but how
So
did you come about 55 px? I'm just asking. How did you get that figure?
you do 220. That's what I did, divided by 4.
Okay, okay, okay. I get you. So if it's 200 divided by 4, then we'll get 50 px, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's go with 50. So we use 200 and allow the space of 30 to be both sides, 15 on the left, 15 on the right. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Munachi, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Tommy, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Um, okay, so let's proceed. So let's go back and check our code browser. Okay, 250. So let's go. Let's try it now. We're going to assign the same ID to this guy and to this guy and to this guy. Why? Because we want them to have the same styling attributes. So do you see why we need to assign the same ID to other HTML elements? When you should do that is when you want them to use the same styling attribute. All right, so let's go back and clear that now. I have a student who cannot join this class because it's not yet, she's not yet on this level, at this level. But she was styling buttons like this and she was giving each button different ID. And she had about 20 buttons. So she wrote 20 different styles and 20 different IDs. Like by the time I introduced her to this particular system, she started crying. Now why did she spend wasted all her time? Now you can see how good it is for you to be a pro. You just know what to do and do it the right way. We can use both ID and style in a particular div. So if we want to query select this, we don't need to query select this, but we need to query select the class if we want to do other things. Don't worry, we are moving gradually. Temi is not here. I wish she's here. A very intelligent girl. Okay, so refresh. Okay, makes sense, right?
Yes, sir.
Makes sense. So now we can add our margin at the top. So let's go back. So what we need to do next is go to our style, right? All right, so I'll be throwing questions to you guys one by one. We want to add a margin at the top. Monachi, what are we going to do?
You press enter, then
Okay.
you write margin bottom.
Margin,
Margin top, margin top, sorry.
margin top.
Then depends on which the
Okay, we can go with
is
10.
it
Let's go with 10.
okay,
Let's
yes,
go with 10.
10.
10. 7. Okay, so let's go back and check, right? Let's go back. Share, check. All right, nice. Okay,
Mr. David,
yeah,
I have a question.
go ahead.
So you said that inside div, instead of margin, you're supposed to use margin.
Yeah, I got you. Sure, because the last time we had class, I made reference of using padding for elements within a div, right? Yes,
Sir,
yes, I did. I did. I made reference. But when you're using element like this, like you can see that this button doesn't have enough space, very tiny, very small. So you can actually use padding for element like this. I'm not saying you cannot use padding for this. If you want to use padding, you can do the same thing, but your padding will be for the div. Your padding will be for this particular, the parent element is what you will pad. But if the element is inside the parent element, then the div or the HTML element inside the parent element will receive a margin. So this guy can receive a margin for this, from this. This blue box can receive a margin from the green box. These buttons can receive margin from the blue box. So you can apply margin to the child element that is actually sitting inside a parent element. All right. If the parent element want to push the child element downwards, then the parent element will use padding top. If it is a child element that wants to move downwards, it will use margin top. So, but if an element wants to compress the element inside itself, it uses padding. So you use padding to compress element that lives inside itself. All right, then you use margin to what? To control elements that is out, to move away from elements that is outside your boundary. So if you want to move away from elements outside your boundary, you use margin. Or elements within your inside, within you, within your territory, you use padding to push them around, pad them around. So this box will be padding these guys around. But this guy, since it's outside itself, each of them, so you want to move around, you just have to use what we call margin. Okay, use margin top to separate them. Is that okay?
yes, sir.
Let me go on. So you may be answering the next question. So but let's go now. So HTML. We've done the first set, right? Now
Yes, sir.
we can just copy this set Press the enter button. Let's give some space. Paste. So this number is going to be what? 5, 6, 7, 8. Save. Fresh. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Checking. So go back again. So we copy and paste again, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
9, 0, plus sign, minus sign. Save. Fresh again. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, so go back again. Hash symbol, multiplication. This is for division. That's why I see the slash. You need the, what other symbol do we need? What symbol?
An equals to sign.
Equals to.
Yeah, we want the equals to sign. What other symbol? Um,
Sir,
yeah,
what are the symbols that could clear everything you've written?
that
That's
could,
what I just.
oh, that's good. That's good. CLR, right? To clear,
Yes.
save. Okay, so makes sense, right? So our calculator is having a very good shape, looking nice. All we need to do now is increase the height a little bit. Let's see if we can increase the font. Since we have ID, let's go to CSS and add font size. That the font size, hope it will not affect the weight, but let's see. Font size 20 px. I'm going to say, let's see.
Perfect. It's bigger now. Better.
Better, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's pad it now. You see this element is close to the top and the bottom. I want to pad them so that you can just give little space from the top. So elements within smaller spaces in between like this, it's good to pad them. All right, so let's pad it a little bit. So padding top. We can't give it 10. 10 might be much, so let's give it 5 px. You know, those elements are very small. Then padding bottom. So we should be the same, right? 5px. I'm also going to teach you later on shortcuts in CSS so you can know how to write CSS and styling with ease. Okay, so save. So you can see the spacing, right? Did you guys understand what I did?
I cannot save.
Oh, so sorry. So sorry. I'm going to take that back. Someone have left my meeting. Guess it's a network. So this is it. I added spacing at the top. Okay. Zakoye. All right. So anyway, I don't have much to say right now about this, but your assignment is to deliver this for me. Create your calculator app, snap it, screenshot it, and send it to me on WhatsApp. Use your mommy's phone to send it. You can also, in our next meeting, let me see, we are going to meet tomorrow. We're going to meet tomorrow. I'll communicate with your parents. Then what I want you to do is create your calculator app and share it with me tomorrow. You are going to explain your code so that everybody will know that you actually wrote the code, and if there's an issue, we'll talk about it and how to resolve it. Do you understand? I'm going to share the
Sir, please
video.
go back to the
Yes, sir.
HTML.
You said?
Sir, please go back to the HTML code.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload it on YouTube once the class is over. I'll do that now so that you can get it.
Mr. David,
Yeah, no trouble.
we should just make it like this.
Yes, just make it like this. We'll add functionalities. As we keep moving, we'll begin to add functionalities.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Any question? No question. All right, so
Yes, sir, no question.
okay. So let's end the class right now. See you guys tomorrow. Okay?
Okay, sir.
All right.